Hello dear students, welcome back to the science lesson. Our lessons for today will be about elements and compounds. First of all, let me remind you some things about elements. As you know that we said elements are made up from a combinings of two atoms or more than two atoms of a different kinds. Here we have we have a table. That table, it's a what? It's the tables of all elements. We said in the world there is more than 100 elements, and the scientists arranged all of the elements in this table. They named the tables the periodic table. It means the names of this table, it's a what? Is the periodic table. In the year 1869, Russian chemist named Dmitry Mendeleev organized elements by what? By their atomic mass. Under each of the elements we have a number, mass numbers. It's a mass number of the elements. Okay? Mendeleev organized elements by what? By their atomic mass. After Mendeleev, the scientists later found that using the atomic number is better than the atomic mass for arranging the elements. And here we have a periodic table. What the meanings of periodic table? Periodic table elements are arranged in orders of atomic number. It means it's a table that elements are arranged by its atomic number. And in that table, we have that table. The elements are arranged by what? By metal, non-metal, and metalloid elements. It means, as you know, that we said 3 above 4 of elements are what? Are metal. Metal elements are those elements that they have 4 properties like conducting electricity and ductile and malleable and luster. When the elements have those properties, we can say to it metal. Okay? But those elements that don't have those property, we have to call it non-metal. And we have some elements in this table that they have both properties, some property of metal elements and some properties of non-metal elements. We call to these elements metalloid. Some elements have property of both metal and non-metal. These elements are what? Are called metalloids. Look at this picture. The scientists arranged all elements by its atomic number. Here we have atomic number. The ones here we have hydrogen gas. First element, it's a what? Hydrogen gas. The hydrogen gas atomic number is what? Is 1. That's why they arranged the first hydrogens at first, because of what? Of atomic number hydrogen is 1. After that, they arranged those metals or those elements that they have the same properties in 1 columns. In here, that one it's be 1 columns and that one it's be 1. It means those elements that they are in 1 columns, they have the same properties. And in the left side, left sides of the periodic table are what? They are what? They are metal elements, except the hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas is non-metal element. And in the right side we have a what? In the right side we have a non-metal elements. The scientist arranges non-metal elements in the right side. And the these elements that we called metalloids, here they arrange it between the metal and non-metal. And every box in this table, each of them we call to its box. Okay, every box contain what? Here we have the numbers up to the letter. Okay, here this number it be atomic number, and H it be a chemical symbol, you have to know it. And hydrogen it be the element name, and that one, the last number, it be what? Atomic mass. Here we have a questions here that it's a what? Our questions is what two things determine the arrangements of elements in the modern periodic table. You have to know that the periodic table elements are arranged by what? By atomic number, and by what? By similar properties too. There are two things we can determine the arrangements of elements. Here, atomic number and similar properties. What about the compounds? As we learned that elements are combinations or are joining atoms with each others, but combinings of atoms from a different kinds of elements, it will produce what? It will produce a compounds. It will produce what? It will produce a compounds. Compound is a substance made of the atoms of two or more elements. It means the atoms of two or more elements, it will produce what? Compound. For example, we have a water. Water is one of the most common compounds. Water we use for drinking, for washing, for everything. Okay, water is what? Is an example for compounds. It's made up from what? Hydrogens and oxygen. We have a what? A chemicals formula which show which elements and how many atoms of each are in a compound. The chemical formula, like H2O, it be what? It be a chemical formula. By this formula, we can find the numbers of atoms of each element. For example, we say H2O is a compound. We say H2O is a what? H2O is a water. It's a compound. By this chemical formula, you know that how many atoms are in the water. By this formula, now I know that 2 atoms, by this number 2H, I know that 2 atoms of hydrogens are in a what? are in one water molecules. 2 hydrogens are in what? In water molecules. And one oxygens are in what? Are in one water molecules. And another example, we have what? NaCl. NaCl is a what? It's a chemical formula. NaCl, it means 1 atoms of Na and 1 atoms of Cl, of chlorine. They made a what? They made a salt, NaCl. 2 different kinds atoms from the 2 different elements, they produce a what? They produce a salt compound. And here we have a what? If I ask you by the chemical formula of a glucose, what do you know by this formula? Here we have a chemical formula of sugar, of glucose sugar. It's a simple sugar. By this formula, you know that the glucose is made up from 6 atoms of carbon and 12 atoms of hydrogens and 6 atoms of oxygens. Okay, hope you get it. And when atoms join to form a compound, they undergo a chemical change. This chemical change, it changes what? Its property. For example, the property of the hydrogens and oxygen, before they combine with each other, they react with each others. What will be? They are gas, okay? But when they react with each other, they will produce a what? They will produce a water. Water is a what? Is a liquid. It means the chemical properties, they are what? They are different. They are different in their properties. It means the properties of atoms, it be different from the properties of compound. And when two compounds with react with each others, they will produce a what? They will produce a new things, a new product. Okay, they will produce a new product. When compounds react, they change and form a new products. For example, here I wrote that ones for you. It's an example for what's for reacting to compounds. Here we have HCl and NaOH. They are 2 compounds. When they react with each others, they will produce 2 new things. For example, HCl, it's a what? It's a hydrochloric. It's a hydrochloric acid and contain hydrogens and chlorine. It means the hydrochloric is made up from what? From hydrogen gas and chlor. Okay? And here we have another ones, NaOH, hydroxide, sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is made up from what? From 1 atoms of Na and 1 atoms of oxygens and 1 atoms of hydrogen. It means NaOH is made up from 3 different kinds of atoms in an element, of three different elements. When they react, those compounds, when they react with each other, so they will produce a new products. For example, Na will react with Cl, they will produce NaCl, salt. And what will be stay? Of course, H, 2H, and 1O, they will produce H2O, water. And here we have a questions. What does a chemical formula show? Chemical formula show what? Show atomic number. Show atomic numbers of elements. Here we have a review questions. It will be homeworks for you. Hope you understand it very well. Bye bye. See you.